glamorous though. Hello again, welcome to Coloured Adventures. I'm Sanyu and Lawrence is the camera guy. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about our safari, our experience, and then I'll tell you just a little bit more information that I got to find out. Okay, so what we did first of all was we flew into Dar es Salaam, and then from Dar es Salaam we flew into Arusha with a small plane. We actually flew into Arusha airport, but you can always fly into Kilimanjaro airport. However, from some of the information that we found out, shout out to traveling Sista, is that you can actually also drive. You can get a car and drive to Arusha, which is obviously a little bit longer. Alternatively, you can use public transport, which will also be a little bit longer as well, but these are cheaper options. Okay, so we got into Arusha and we had a bit of time, about 5 days, and we were not sure at all about what we wanted to do, what kind of safari we wanted to do. We kind of like were challenged a little bit with how expensive it is. During our research while I was in Australia, I found that it was just a little bit expensive and we're not really ready to to spend that, so we just decided to come to Arusha first and then we can see what we find. So we did a little bit of research around from word of mouth, from people that, local people that we befriended, and we ended up going with a guy called Charles. We'll put link his details below, and got a really good deal. And so we decided to do a one-day safari just because we were not sure if we really wanted to do the whole shebang. And actually time was becoming a bit of an issue as well at this point. So we did a day trip to Tarangire National Park, and that was really amazing. We saw so many animals and it really inspired us to want to do the bigger safaris in the future, such as going to Ngorongoro Crater as well as Serengeti, and that's definitely now high up on our list. So I would highly recommend a day safari if, number one, you have time limitation, number two, you don't have the funds to do it, number three, if you kind of just want to add something extra, like even if you've done a longer safari already but you want to do a little bit more, you can do a day safari just to add it, especially if the national park was not part of the longer safari that you did. Okay, so sorry if I'm looking down, I'm actually looking at my piece of paper just with some pointers. That I want to bring your attention to is the park fees. Some parks, some national parks are more expensive than others because, for example, Ngorongoro Crater is one of the UNESCO World Heritage, and it is the one place on planet Earth where man and animals and wild animals can actually live simultaneously together. So you can imagine that statistic, and it's just incredible to go there. And so the park fees there are much higher than, for example, Tarangire National Park. The other thing is, how long it takes to get to the national park. That can also determine the price difference. And then the other thing, it comes down to accommodation. So if you're doing a day trip, then that's easy. And it's much cheaper, but if you're doing one night stay or 2 night stay, it depends, do you want the really cheap option, which is camping, like the roughing out kind of camping, or do you want to do some glamping, so the price goes a little more comfortable, but still you get to experience just the nature? Or if you want to do a lodge, and that's the more fancy and more expensive but once in a lifetime experience. I personally would probably like to do glamping and the lodges, because I just like all the extras that come with it, and you just imagine just being out in the wild, but somebody has built this beautiful place where it's like a sanctuary and you get to experience all the luxuries and stuff, but out in the wild. And sometimes I've seen pictures where animals actually come to where you're staying, so that's pretty cool. So as far as I know, in terms of season, like the best time to come, a lot of people have said that it's between late June to about October. That's when basically it's the best time to be able to see a lot of the wild beast migration and just, you know, like so many animals. So, you know, you can just time yourself around that, because when we came it was kind of like shoulder season, in terms of like, you know, it's not as busy anymore, but there's still things to do and see. So pick your time. And then one last thing, you can do the safari, you know, just either you. I've seen actually somebody was just one lady and she just did it all by herself and she had the car all to herself. You can do it with 2 people, or you can do it in a group. A group safari is much cheaper than an individual or like a couple safari, but obviously the experiences will be different. So it really comes down to what you're after. I think the best scenario with group safaris is if you're all friends, but if it's just all random people, a bit interesting. However, if you want to meet new people, it's great. Just another thing to remember, you can't leave the car, so you kind of just have to get a little bit creative in the car in terms of like getting photos and stuff. It's really hard to get a photo of you with an animal in the background, but we kind of found, you know, a way with that. But yeah, it's really for your eyes mainly, and just to video the animals and all that in the wild. But it's mind-blowing. It truly is. I didn't think that I would get as amazed, you know, because like I've lived in Uganda for such a long time, and I've seen animals here and there, but it's just a different thing when you see a lion in action, or when you see like the zebras running around. Just the beauty is incredible. The other thing to remember is there is a whole lot of tsetse flies. Tsetse flies basically cause sleeping sickness. Apparently it is short term, so it's not a long lasting thing. However, when they bite you, they really hurt. Again, this is what we heard. We were very lucky that we're not bitten by them, but we were so aggressive with them, just, you know, keeping them away. So we were using Bushman insect repellent, and so that kept them away for the most part. But you can also, like from what we saw, the car gets fumigated, and usually they just kind of like spray it with, I think, insect repellent or whatever, and so all the cars get fumigated, so that helps. But yeah, other than that, it's a great experience and you should definitely do it. Okay, so I know that you have loved this video and you are going to benefit from it, so don't forget to like, comment down below, and give us some love on all our social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and definitely if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. This is the way I like to see animals, you know, right in the wild, in the natural habitat, rather than in zoos, because I just don't like animals being, you know, like, I mean, we're already invading a lot of their space, so I prefer national parks like this versus zoos.